Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm posing a question to you, and I want you to leave a comment down below at the end of the video with your opinion, because I think that this is very, very important. Now, bear with me. We're going to talk about quite a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about all of these, well, I mean, a handful of these types of projects that say that they're using AI trading bots. Um, and these are essentially projects that are offering anywhere from, no guaranteed return per day, just based on the return is based on what their bots are producing, all the way up to, 1, 2%, all the way up to 6 and 7% per day, which is crazy to me. So I want to talk about these things, but I want to pose a question and say, do you think that this is the end of these types of AI trading bot protocols, right? Now, obviously, we've seen over the last year a bunch of um, different types of protocols become really popular. Like this time last year, it was DAO season, and things like Wonderland Time and all those different types of auto rebasing protocols were popular. Then we had things like Titano and those forks, right? And then we had things like nodes and tomb forks that were popular for a while, and people were making great money on them, but they were never sustainable. And then we had miner season, which obviously were giant Ponzi's. And then now we're kind of getting into this AI trading bots. Now we have things like Stable Fund that I would say was probably one of the first ones that claimed that they had trading bots. Sure, they're still functioning in their V2, but who knows, right? We still haven't seen proof of the actual trading bots working, so that's still stuff left to be desired, right? And I think that's an important takeaway. Now, there are a few projects that have showed actual trading results, and that varies on a spectrum, right? We have from things like PGV, where they're actually showing the closed P&Ls on the exact pairs that they're trading, exact entry and exit points, things like that, to the other end of the spectrum where we just have like videos of the trades actually taking place on centralized exchange, stuff like that, right? So there's a broad spectrum of people actually showing proof of that they do have bots, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the first one that we're going to be talking about, since I've seen a bunch of YouTubers actually talking about yield robot, which is the protocol that you see here on your screen, I decided to actually get into it myself, because, like I said, I've seen a bunch of videos on it, and sometimes I make those decisions, and we will see if they're good or not. Obviously, everything that we're talking about today is extremely high risk, and we're talking about you know protocols that offer any set specific guaranteed return on investment every single day. It makes you wonder on how they're actually generating these returns. Is it strictly from trading bots, or is there some Ponzi-nomics going on within the contract as well? I'm typically leaning towards it's a mixture of both, right? However, we only know as much information as we're given in any one of these protocols that we're talking about today. So I think that it's the best thing to do is to try to use that information, make an informed decision on if these high risk, high reward protocols suit your investment needs and your investment risk profile. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Since I've never talked about Yield Robot on the channel, I wanted to take a second to talk about them. They did reach out to me. They did talk to me about their protocol. They did show me some videos of some actual trades happening, which is cool to see. However, like just like anything, like do we really know that that is accurate? I would love to be able to see this stuff all on live stream, so that way we can actually verify that they have full control over these bots and they're the ones that are using them and generating revenue and putting that back into the smart contracts to pay out investors. Like I said, though, we only know what the information is that we're given. However, these guys are going to be doing an AMA today. So if you find any interest in Yield Robot, then maybe join their Telegram group. I believe there's a link down here at the bottom of their website. I'll leave a link to this down below in the description of today's video. So you can check it out and make a decision on if it's something that you like or not. Obviously, I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm doing in crypto and DeFi. Some of the shit that I do is extremely risky and extremely stupid, but for the most part, it seems to work out for me. Obviously, just like everybody else's, I do have my losses as well, and I don't claim to be some expert trader or some expert in DeFi. I've just been kind of enveloped in the industry for some time now, and I can usually see what is legitimate and what is full of shit. Obviously, there's going to be those outlier cases where, you know, I make a mistake, and that's why I like to document my journey so that I can learn and move forward and not continue to make these same mistakes. And hopefully that helps you. That's the goal, and that's why I created the channel. So moving forward, let's talk a little bit about Yield Robot. So you can see here that I put in $1,000. There is a 3% deposit fee on all deposits. That's the only fee that you have to worry about paying. Your capital is then locked for 30 days. Okay, but you can claim your daily reward or your daily rewards every 24 hours. So you can pull those earnings out. However, that capital is still locked for 30 days. And once that 30-day countdown timers, you'll be able to pull your initial deposit out as well. So something to think about there. Obviously, anytime you're locking up funds, it can be risky, right? But let's jump into a couple things within their actual documentation here. Now, I do also know that they offer an audit from an auditing company. In my opinion, when you're dealing with protocols like this, where the funds that you're depositing into the smart contract are used to then fund a trading bot to generate revenue and then pay back out to investors, it becomes very challenging to pass an audit. So for me, I'm not so much as worried about an audit as I am about a KYC. It's my opinion that I would rather see a KYC from these types of protocols rather than an audit. Like, while I do think audits are great, essentially with a lot of these types of projects, there's a built-in backdoor where they have to be able to remove funds from the contract, right? So just my opinion, I would rather see a KYC. I do know that one of the team members has shown his face. I don't know if he's released any other documentation or plans to KYC in the future. I do plan on attending their AMA tonight to be able to get some of those answers to those questions. If something that interests you, I recommend you do the same as well. Make sure to jump in their AMA and see if it's a good fit for you. So here you can see, not just taking my word for it, you can get your initial deposit back. You can get your initial BUSD investment back after 30 days. There's a 3% dev fee. Like I said, that is paid on deposit. So I put my $1,000 in. I got taxed, or I got that 3%, which was $30 on $1,000. You can make daily withdrawals. You can make daily withdrawals, which starts as soon as day one after your investment. After the first 24 hours, you can start to make your withdrawals. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I've talked about this a number of times here on the channel. The only way that I'm interacting with any of these types of protocols, I am not compounding. I'm only claiming until I hit my initial investment. And then I can choose what I will or what I want to do with the remaining funds that are in the contract. So in the case of something like PGV, where I invested $10,000 and I could go ahead and claim my last, or I can make my withdrawal, my last claim right now, and that gets me to just about $10,000 that I've already pulled out of the contract based on that 2% per day, or up to 2% per day earning, right? So that's what I'm doing regardless of the project moving forward. That might not be the case for a lot of other people, but just based on my experience with dealing with these types of protocols, that is the best way to mitigate a lot of the risk joining into these types of protocols. So this is on the Binance Smart Chain. You use BUSD to deposit. You can make multiple deposits as you'd like. We encourage that as increase your returns accordingly. Obviously, if you are making multiple deposits, I would consider that compounding. So like I said, that's something I'm choosing not to do. They do also have a referral system here. I will leave a link to mine down below. If you don't want to use it, that's completely fine. Just go to yieldrobot.app. Then you won't have to worry about using my referral link. But I do appreciate those of you that do pretty much do this YouTube and crypto thing full time outside of my other stuff. So it definitely helps when people use those referral links. But like I said, feel free to go to yieldrobot.app and be able to pull this information up for yourself. That being said, that is Yield Robot. I'm going to start including this video or these guys in every video that I put out on the week, where I talk about everything I'm currently invested in, how things are going, catch you guys up on the news, because I think that's important and not too many people do that. I know that those videos tend to be longer, but I think that they're important for what we're doing in the space, right? Okay, moving forward to Trident. I talked about Trident earlier this week in my weekly video, and when I did talk about them, they had a whitelist open for the first 100 people. You could get on the whitelist and be approved to invest, be part of that 100-person group that we're opening investments to early. I don't believe these guys plan to launch to the public until after the first of the year. They did open this up last night for people that were whitelisted or that are whitelisted. So if you manage to get a whitelist, then definitely go find the information out about how to get your PIN code to access the staking on Trident. But this is another one, guys. This is another one that is offering 2% per day. I put in $5,000, and after the deposit fee of about $4,900, you can see here I have 8 hours left on the countdown to where I can pull out my first reward of BUSD. And then you have here the days to your initial investment. I put in 2, right? So 2,500 and 2,500. We have 29 days left on that until we can pull out our initial investment. Again, going to be claiming every single day until we hit those lockup or those unlock periods rather. Okay, that's Trident. And the next one is iBots. So this is actually a good friend of mine, Pocket Aces. He's another YouTuber. If you don't already subscribe to his channel, then definitely check him out. I love what he does. And like I said, he's been somebody that's been in the premium Discord for some time now. And yeah, he's a great guy. But I do know that he's working with these guys as far as like being their community lead. I will leave the links to ibots.io down below in the description of this as well. But essentially, this is using some centralized trading bots using 20x leverage, like the Shiny Jackal bots that I've talked about here on the channel. And I'm sure that if you've been around for the last couple months, you've heard that name. Now, I don't currently run any Shiny Jackal bots just because all of my funds were on FTX, and obviously those funds are no longer. Who knows what we will find out about that stuff. But this essentially gives you access to those same trading bots, and they pay out not daily. They only pay out when they close trades, right? So with these bots, they typically, I never experienced a day or a trade that closed in the negative. These bots kind of work on DCA, mixture of DCA and the Martingale strategy. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's pretty interesting. But that being said, this is something that's on my radar. I've only put in $250 just to help test them out. I think they have a couple of users that they're kind of having help stress test the system just to make sure everything is up and running before they actually launch to the public. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on how this protocol unfolds for me. Before we get into the next project, which I want to take a second and do some math with you guys because it's absolutely insane, and by no means should you invest in anything like this. But before we talk about that project, I want to talk a little bit about StableFund, because today kind of marked an important day where you could go ahead and make your first claim. All right, so if we go over to the stake page, I've already claimed my first like 7 days worth of that 1% per day. I was a little over $2,000 based on the almost $30,000, so $29,508 that I have total deposited that I'm earning that percentage a day on. So if you haven't, say you rolled over to V2 and Stable Fund and you haven't gone ahead and claimed your rewards, then you might want to think about doing that. The way that I chose to go about it is I claimed them. Then I went over to this wallet tab. I just selected SFUSD here, and then I went to xt.com, which is just a centralized exchange that allows you to swap your SFUSD for any other stablecoin or any other coin that you want. But what I did is I sent a test transaction through to xt.com, which I highly recommend you do before you're sending any kinds of funds to a centralized exchange to and from to the exchange or from the exchange to your MetaMask wallet or anything like that. It's always important to send a test transaction through. So I sent the SFUSD to xt.com. Once the test amount hit, which I believe was $10, I sent the remaining funds, about, like I said, $2,050 over to xt.com. And then I went on the spot trade and traded it for USDT. Once I had the USDT in my wallet, then again, I sent a test transaction sending that USDT from xt.com to my MetaMask wallet. And then once that hit my MetaMask wallet, I went ahead and sent the rest of the USDT over to my MetaMask wallet. So I was able to go ahead and claim my 7 days worth of capital rewards. And now that is safe and sound in my MetaMask wallet in USDT, which is great to see. Who knows how this is going to go? I know that there's been quite the controversy going on between Stable Fund and True Seekers. In my opinion, it's a bunch of bullshit, and it's stuff that should be handled in DMs as opposed to the way that it's being handled now. But I think that's what happens when crypto and DeFi is turning more so into just like the politics and the drama of it all, as opposed to wanting to do things in a professional or business-minded manner. Again, that's just my opinion. And yeah. Okay, so moving on from Stable Fund, let's talk about this. So this is the big red flag for the day. I know that Jonathan Sellers had a AMA with these guys, Healthy Fund, and it was absolutely horrible. Like, okay, Jonathan Fud Farm is who I'm talking about. He did a great job at kind of not lobbing softball questions at them and asking questions that actually mattered. The only thing that I didn't really see on the or here on the AMA was the fact that, and we'll get into this right now. Let me find it. The continuity protocol. They make it seem like it's some crazy thing, but it's a bunch of bullshit if I'm being completely honest. So they are saying you're earning 6 to 7% per day, and the APY is between 150% and 175%. The investment duration is 25 days, right? So let's just say you go and you put $1,000 worth of BNB into this protocol. So right off the bat, you're going to be taxed, okay? Let me see if I can find, this incurs a 10% dev fee and a 3% marketing fee right off the rip. So 13% off your deposit. So if you put $1,000 in, that's $130. So now you're getting 6 to 7% per day on $870, which is $52.20 per day. That staking lasts for 25 days. So if you were to add up that 6% a day on the 870, you'd be looking at $1,305. Then there is a 5% withdrawal fee. On withdrawal, a 5% fee goes to the health insurance fund. That 5% withdrawal fee on that $1,305 is $65.25. So you're left with $1,239.75. But don't wait, it gets even worse. So you put $1,000 in, after $25, you can withdraw $1,239.75. But let's see, I know that they talk about this here. Can you take your initial BNB back, right? So let's just say put in $1,000, and after day 25, here we are. Cool, we can go ahead and be able to pull everything out. and take our profits, right? Once you deposit BNB, you start receiving dividends based on your deposit with a stable bullshit 6%, 6 to 7% daily APR. There's immense possibility on how much return you could generate. The highest APY per deposit is 150%. How does this answer the question of can you take your initial BNB back? The reality of the situation is before a user can withdraw, he or she must make another investment greater than the initial deposit plus zero point 0.1 BNB, right? So if you put in, let's just say BNB is at $250. I know it's around there somewhere. BNB is at $250. We put in 4 BNB. Okay, that's our $1,000. Cool. Now we have to put 4.1 BNB in to be able to pull out that initial $1,239.75 or sorry, $75 that we've been earning over the course of the last 25 days. So this is for sure a clear Ponzi. And this is what makes me pose the question. Thank you if you've made it to this point in the video. I think this is very important. I think that projects like this that use buzzwords such as AI trading bot is good, and that are offering these crazy daily rewards, because clearly after the 18% round trip fees is complete bullshit. You're not earning 6% a day. You're not earning 7% per day. Not even close, right? The fact that they use those numbers and the buzzwords such as AI trading bot, I think that's going to be probably the death of these types of protocols. Like I said in the beginning of the video, everything in crypto and DeFi is cyclical. So we always run into these things where certain types of protocols are more popular now than, like, AI trading bot protocols are more popular than DAOs, right? Or tomb forks for obvious reasons. And I think that them putting out a contract like this just shows other people, let's just say people or teams or developers that were putting out all these daily ROI platforms, which we've talked about a ton here on the channel. And obviously, I've grown as an investor myself since then. But I think it's important to understand that these are becoming buzzwords now or just putting this kind of filter on top of a Ponzi scheme and calling it an AI trading bot platform, right? That pays you out 6 to 7% daily return on or daily rewards, which is not the case at all. And furthermore, if we go back here and we look at where is it at? So the 5% fee that goes to the health insurance fund on withdrawals. So not only do you have to deposit more capital to be able to pull your funds out to withdraw any of the dividends. Again, you don't get to pull out your daily dividends until you make another deposit. In order to do that, you have to be taxed 5%, and you have to put in more or a bigger deposit of fresh capital, bigger than your initial deposit. But the 5% that goes to the health insurance fund, supposedly, I believe what I heard was that is the pool that they're going to be using to trade with on these trading bots. So they're not really even shying away from the fact that it's a complete blatant Ponzi. But it's very deceptive the way that they're choosing to word things and to market this project. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. So I know that we've talked about quite a bunch: Yield Robot, Trident, talk about ibots.io, talk a little bit about Stable Fund, and then finally Healthy Fund here. Let me know what the answer to the question is, guys. Do you think protocols like this are the end of the AI trading bot run that we've been on for the last couple of months? Personally, I definitely think that is the case. So that being said, always look out for what's coming up next. And who knows what it will be, right? Who knows? Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is a long video, 24 minutes now. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, but I'm sure you already have. And also, if you could leave a comment, answer that question down below. What do you think about all these AI trading bot protocols? Do you think this is the end of it? When people like Healthy Fund are blatantly lying to their investors to get paid that 18% dev fees essentially. It's wild. Thanks guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.